We are live. So then I have to tell you what this is all about. Yes, we have just finished a conversation with Cecile Green, who has been instrumental in developing the idea of collab, which is a whole new way of working together that invites as much of the person as you want to, what shall we say, bring in
and
into the workplace as you want. And you don't have to leave your personality at home.
We say you don't have to come in and leave your personality in the guardaroba.
Yeah. in the wardrobe where you hang up your coat with your personality.
And with your wishes and your desires and your ideas.
And it was a very fruitful discussion and actually very enjoyable and entertaining, I think, too.
I liked it a lot.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. I like her. We have had her in previous sessions. Mm-hmm. She unfortunately cannot come. I didn't tell her in time that there is an after show club, and so she has another appointment.
But we warned her that if she wasn't here, that we'd be talking about her anyway. But anyway, but her ideas are really, really interesting. And we also branched out into the general role of women in the workplace and how that fits in with modern life. And how can you have a family life and a work life? In the past, the men had the work life and the family life was added on afterwards. And for women, traditionally, it was just the opposite. Their whole life was the family life. And that doesn't work so well anymore. And matter of fact, that's a heck of a load on the man to be the sole, shall we say, public person in the family anymore.
It has changed in the Western world quite a bit. But we were talking about the but. Let us now first welcome Christina, and also Kate is coming in. And let us have a conversation about what you have heard and what you would like to talk about.
Yeah, and so I may be in the minority as a male.
Oh gosh, you must have fear of us, all these women.
It's better than not having any women around, I'll tell you.
Yes, it is.
Yes, hello, Kate.
So let's begin with Christina. You were beginning before we started the recording, and go ahead.
Yeah, I only had possibility to listen to the last part of it. So I only the 20 last minutes. So I don't know so much. But it's very, very interesting. And sometimes I wish I had the opportunity to work at the place where there are more cooperative kind of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was talking about a business structure which is without bosses anyway, where you really collaborate, where the power is distributed and where there are practices to learn it. One of the main practices is be completely transparent about your work, for instance. No, see, in normal business, if you don't make it with your work, you will always pretend to be ready in the time when the deadline is, and you will try and try and try. And in this sort of surrounding, you would say, you know what, I don't make it. I need help. Can somebody help me, or something like this? So it's complete transparency about the work life, and if you want, also about the personal life. And if not in the whole group, so there is inside of the structure is the possibility to have personal support by, you don't have to go, if you want to, you can go outside to a coach or whatever, but it is included in the business structure that you get also support for your personal problems, for instance, when between co-workers, when there is a
dispute.
Yeah, something like that. And this is great. I mean, wherever is it?
Yeah, it sounds great. Yes.
So you can watch the replay. I think really great to listen about that. Yeah. And hey, Kate,
Hello, this is a fantastic topic for me. I just listened to another show that you did with Margarita. It was also related to business and emotional intelligence. But I'm so enthusiastic about all these topics, and only the summary that you made is enough for me to grasp another fantastic conversation about something that is again about my life, because as you know, I'm running business with my husband. It's snackby.com, snackby Ltd. And what you just mentioned about this new type of business structure is something that we have to do and live every day with my husband. And it changed our relationship. We were not able to work together before, but 2 years ago when I met you, we started up a new business. You remember that show we had together, 2 years ago. And
Yes,
we
sing
were
like a
really, and yes, we were an upstart. I was supposed to do voice coaching, a lot of voice coaching. That was my plan. Then my husband invited me to the business. We moved to a new place, so doing a voice coaching, that Heidi knows exactly what it is. You move to a new place, nobody knows you, nobody knows that you can sing, nobody knows that you can teach. It's a very hard thing. So my husband invited me to join the business, and funnily enough, I started enjoying it so much because it's a new type of business, and also I discovered that I can work with him. I enjoy it, and it's a very complementary thing with my music. And because I couldn't make money with my music, I wanted to make that company a success. And it was a serious thing, because if you want to make it a success, you have to be so honest about everything, about your own weaknesses, about the weaknesses of your partner. We had to also be very careful, because we bought some training courses, and we discovered that lots of the training courses were really misleading us. Again, it's about honesty. There are a lot of business people selling these cutting-edge courses for marketing, for e-commerce, which are really misleading, because it's all I'm going to exaggerate it. I don't mean anything personal to Mark, but a lot of American people have the communication skills, but not the character to sell and oversell something as this is the method, you will be successful with this and nothing more. And these people are very clever. They make a lot of money, but you have to find your own way, because there is no perfect method that will work for your own business, because it is connected to who you are, what you want, and the type of people you want to serve. So finally we found our way, and 2 years later we are here. We do have a real business, we do have real sales, and we are trying to grow and expand. I'm very enthusiastic about it. So that was my spiel.
And I didn't take the talk about Americans personally. No, not at all.
No, but we know that they have that they are collectively, let's say, in what we in Integral would call the level of development orange, where it's all about money, all about perfection, all about getting success, and truth and credibility is not really an ingredient there.
Yes, character. Exactly. And my husband is really, he when he was a university lecturer, he taught even business ethics, and he did it in Eastern Europe, after the revolution, and he was kind of laughed at, because people in Eastern Europe, like what was it, in Riga, Latvia, after the after the revolution, it was in the early 90s. They didn't have any business. They didn't think that anything like that can exist and that you can make money and being honest. So, but it is harder, of course, to be honest in business. But it is doable, and it's absolutely necessary for the new type of society we are kind of part of, we are creating just now, that is going to be sustainable. Because the hype is unsustainable. Full stop.
Mm-hmm. I fully agree with that, because, the newer ways of doing business, people say you don't need to have 10,000 people on your list who you don't even know. You need to maybe have 100, 200 people who you have a relationship with. And this is enough. For your business. Or maybe, I don't know the number, but you do it with relationship. You come together and you have trust. And when you know me and you want to have singing lessons from me, Kate, you probably don't, but I want to say, and you know me, and that I don't sell you wind in a box or something like this, then you would buy it from me. But if I tell you all sorts of things, after you have done 2 lessons with me, you will go to the opera and sing Traviata or something like this. Somebody will be attracted, because we have the tendency to believe when people say you will immediately get all that what you have ever desired. And that's just why they do the scarcity in their selling. Wait a minute, in their selling thing. Buy it now, So you are attracted by this. Oh, finally, I get it, and I will be a big opera singer. I use singing here as an example. Mm-hmm. And then you buy it, the course for 3,000 euros or something like this. And then you realize, okay, now you have paid, you have done 10 lessons or 5 lessons or I don't know what, and you're still not, still sing like this, You need
it's
to
a
have...
great example.
I still sing that way.
Yeah, you do, but you haven't paid me any lesson yet.
But I've paid thousands.
For what? To me?
Yeah.
Look at him. Anyway, this is really, we want to trust people. And there was the other session, I don't know if you have heard that, with David Amerland, when he talked about Volkswagen in Germany. They lost trust because they cheated, And he said that it is difficult to repair trust, and you have to do something to repair trust. And one of that is clarity, transparency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's exactly what you say. We build trust and we rebuild trust, because we can make an error. Sometimes something happens. It can happen, no? But yeah, it's great. I'm so glad, Kate.
No, I just had an intuition that I should be here, because I haven't been to your shows for a while, because too many things were happening, including my birthday. And by the way, around my birthday, I got a little book written by 2 German guys who are in their early 30s, and they have been hugely successful on Amazon. And their book is called something about, their brand is called Kawaii. Kawaii. It's a Swedish word, but they are using it for their product. They are producing leather boxes for iPads and tablets, iPhones, but high quality. And their story is so inspirational, and it's full of these values that you are talking about: trust, quality, having being really good to customers, take inspiration from customers, from their criticism, reacting to problems immediately, solving them with the customers. I mean, the whole book is so inspirational. So we are now going to Prague to look for manufacturers, and I feel so inspired, by everything these guys wrote about, and it's very much down to earth, and I love that. So you see, even new types of business books are emerging on the market to communicate to people like us who are honestly seeking a real success, which is this real relationship. It's kind of a real world between people who are creating something and people who are receiving it. And it's a relationship. We are not robots. We are human beings.
Yeah.
So good on Germany. Good on Germany.
So, Christina.
It's so nice to hear about we are human beings and we need to have good relationships everywhere. And I'm so into it at this time because I have felt the other way around. And I really do hope I can start some business with my things in a year or so. In this way you are talking about, we put our own energy into what we are doing, and I'm working with art and handicraft, and I do hope I can listen more to this what you have been talking of before today, and I have so much to learn, and I think it's so wonderful to listen to it. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah. I found it to listen to Cecile, her enthusiasm and her knowledge and her courage to go out and do that, because normally this is a business is still very much man, who, and the structure of business very much man. And she is, sort of, I don't want to say competing, but she is presenting something which is much more complete, as it is including human relationships,
comprehensive,
Then the models which are out now and which are they are leading edge models, which we know one which is called holacracy and which is everywhere proclaimed as the future of business and everything. And she has worked with that, and she has found that it's not effective, because it is effective. It's more effective. It distributes power into the circles of several circles, and I have also had experience with that. But it excludes your intuition. It excludes your inner knowing, all the feminine qualities and all the relationship parts.
Just the facts, ma'am.
It is still the masculine way of just the what is tangible, only the outside things,
measurable,
the brain things, are mainly considered. And the good thing of these models is that everybody is heard, and everybody has the possibility to be heard, and their ideas have the chance to be seen and even implemented, which in normal business still. If the lowest worker down here has a good idea, he has almost no chance to have it considered, and this is a good thing. But the human being in its fullness, with feelings, with intuition, with experience, and with needs, is not included in normal business, and so. Her model is doing this, and it's not only a model, but it gives practices. What she really said, and it's a little bit, Kate, what you say, these business, whatever, courses, they say you have to do this, and 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 blah, blah, and this is the right way to arrive there. But they don't really tell you, first of all, how you should do it. They don't give you a practice how you should do it, because they don't really know. I think most of these people have become successful sort of, out of something, and then they say, oh, now I teach it. And they teach it to get money. I think their success is by telling you that when you follow them, then you are successful. But they are not really interested that you are successful. They only want to sell you their course. That's what I think.
I'm sorry that my husband is not listening to it, because he would say, oh, Heidi, you just nailed it.
Yeah.
We had to listen to so many gurus, business gurus, because we were new. Okay, we learned some techniques, we learned some technology, but back to these two German guys who wrote this book, they wrote it in that fashion that you mentioned. It's very human, and they say there are some good ways to run this business, but every person has her own dream, her own qualities, and you should be finding your own way, because also there are, as the English say, there are many ways to skin the cat. There is no only one way to success. There are many different ways, and they say in their book, so young and so wise, it has to resonate with who you are. Because if it doesn't, you are a fake, you are living life which is not your own, you are trying to imitate the life of somebody else. You are not aligned with that, you don't have fun, you don't have love in it, and it's just waste of time. That is,
it is a waste
if
of
these
time.
people, you see, if these people make money out of blah, 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 it's their responsibility that they are really not keen on other people to succeed. It's, it's their consciousness. They will respond to their own consciousness and their own hearts. But our part in it is to be able to recognize it and not to follow it and fall into the trap. You cannot stop them, and don't try to expose them, because they will, of course they will not say, okay, I'm a pawn, I don't care really about other people, I just want to make money. Don't try to expose them, but don't fall for it. This is my evangelium. Don't fall for it.
The thing is, until you realize it, you have already spent a lot of money. Until you get it, that they don't really help you. I mean, also me, I have learned quite a bit in these things, but I always, I thought this is not how I want to treat people. I don't want to treat in this way future customers. And how can I address my people? I learned to write newsletters, but then sometimes I thought, how can I get my message out without being pushy? But also not hiding, not saying, not even talking about what I'm doing, or talking about that people can buy this or that, So it is really, really, really difficult. And when I tried to do a sort of pushy thing, it felt so awkward. It felt so And I think what we need to learn, all four of us and whoever is in the same area, to find a way and a language to do it differently, to do it and we will have probably less people following us, but who then, and this is my credo now because somebody else said it, but it is sort of convincing me, who is following us and who has bought something of us and is happy with it, they will come back. But if we tell them, oh, you can get everything, they buy it once, but then they will be gone, probably, This is, I hope that it is in this way. But I went to many things too often, let's say,
Well, we have to understand. Go ahead, Kate.
No, there are, I want to tell Christina and even you, there are things that are invaluable, that cannot be expressed in money. But I'll tell you, when I'm in the position to, to buy things from you, you are the people I'm going to buy from, because I trust you, and you gave me so much value already, and it's even beyond money, because you know a little bit, about my struggle coming to Scotland and trying to do art. Christina, I will speak about the project I'm doing in a moment, and how doing art is as hard as doing business. It's actually exactly about the same. We are talking. So you have helped me to overcome so many obstacles. I also learned the gold key release. Gold key release is a fantastic tool. I use other tools like EFT, Sedona method. It also helped me a lot. And because it's been a critical time in my life, I can assure you that I was really eating and drinking every word, every value you said, because it was so important even for my survival, because I would have given up. I didn't, apart from my husband, he shares the value with me, but sometimes you need somebody more than your husband. We didn't know anybody in our little circle who we can share things with. And every time I went on to your show, every single time, I felt these people are feeling what I feel. These people are thinking what I think. These people are trying to live their lives the way I want to live. Okay, that's it. Amen.
Oh,
It's true.
Well,
this is so inspiring.
It's great that we've recorded this.
I don't care.
Oh, I know. I'm just
wonderful.
making a joke, but that's so appreciated. It really is. It's why we do it, even though we don't make much money at it. Because we just love it.
But it's what Cecile said, that in one of their practices there, in the new way of being in a business, is appreciation. That you practice appreciation what others do, because so far we only criticize. This was not right, and I really have to I'm like this. I normally tell him what he is not doing, and then he's good. He says, "No, this is your 4. I'm Enneagram type 4. He's always seeing the negative things, and he's reminding me. And sometimes I say, "Oh, okay." But we need that in life when we have the tendency to do things in a certain way, that the other person is clear enough and doesn't feel, oh, grumpy, now she has criticized me again, but says, you know what, you are doing the old thing. You are blaming and you are criticizing, and this is how we learn, and I'm grateful for that. So the appreciation, it feels so good, and we should really
Whoops, this way.
I promise you I do it more often. Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Anyway, Kate, thank you from my heart for this.
You are welcome. I just did it because of because I did it. But we had to do something very radical, Bill and I, lately. We had to stop criticizing each other, because in the business, if things are turbulent, you have to make decisions. People are not being honest with you. Things are not going right. There are a lot of stresses, and we have fallen into a habit, to criticize, to say I should be doing it this way and that way, and you don't notice it. You start with small things, and then suddenly you realize that you have such a horrible atmosphere at home that you don't enjoy working. And it doesn't matter, the theory of and the willingness of being right and doing everything right and being this wonderful human being, you know how it is. It's just the reality is that you realize that you are a horrible, critical person who is just bossing your husband around, and you are becoming like your own mother, that you have criticized the whole life for being so nasty to your father. And when I decided that, when I realized that I'm doing it, I really, it was the day before my 50th birthday. I cried and cried and cried, and I promised to myself, to the universe, to whoever, that I will stop. And my husband, since that, has been such a nice man. And he says, I like it here so much. And I like this new policy we have, because we call it no bollocking policy. And if you criticize, you have to pay £1 to a little kitty. It's true. But how do you stop yourself? You have to make it noticeable. And the effects of this little change. I mean, we were a little bit on our way. We are going to have the 20th anniversary this year. You can take it to your relationship with Wisdom Factory. We were working our way into destroying our relationship because of this. Simply.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's what happens so often,
Yep.
And we think we don't want to become like our mothers, and we become like our mothers if we don't do the work. And that's what at the end of the talk with Cecile we said, we have to go out of the old patterns. We have to go to stop it, But it's not easy. You cannot decide it. It has to be done with practice. It has to be learned and has to be noticed, what you say, that you notice that you blame and blame and blame and blame. And I notice that I do that with him too. But we can talk about it, and this is already sort of taking away the sting.
Yes, it does.
I cannot immediately change, maybe, but after 5 minutes or after 2 minutes or something, or the word is already out, let's say, and then I say, okay, sorry, But this is the way we learn. Otherwise, when we expect that we know it and can do it immediately, we just can't, and then we get desperate. But we can learn that. We really can learn that. And congratulations, Kate. Really great that you do that with your husband. And it's a great work to be able to do it, to step out of that habit of.
Yes, but I feel much better myself. My self-love has increased. My peace has increased. So that is my big motivation, because I say to myself, I want to feel. I want to keep that feeling. I want to feel like that again and again and again. And when I want to say something, Belle, what are you doing? I just stop myself and say, all that peace that I have in myself is so much sweeter and lovelier. And this doesn't matter, that he maybe is overcooking the fish and undercooking the potatoes.
Oh yeah, this is so true. And sometimes you begin to laugh, about your own ideas, that how things need to go. Who has said that they are like this?
I don't care about the undercooked and overcooked. What I care about is I want him to see, to feel good, because I love him, and I just say, down the potatoes. I don't care.
Oh, I'm in the middle of appreciation of myself, because I have found out that I have valued myself far too low, and I'm terribly tired now of all the chaotic things that has been going on in this, and to listen to you about how to appreciate each other it's so wonderful and valuable and necessary, and we don't grow if we can't appreciate each other. And Heidi, I learned a little bit about that when I was visiting you in Italy a few years ago. And it was so lovely to sit together with the other women and appreciate each other. It's very, very important.
It is, and we're so not used to it, no?
No. Mm-hmm. And we have to receive and contain it in ourselves, the appreciation. If we can't receive it, and this is about self-worthiness, which is it's grounded in self-worthiness. And oh yes,
yeah, exactly. When Mark tells me wonderful things at the beginning, I came from the idea that I'm too old and whatever, and whoever can put up with me because all my men said that I'm so difficult and so bossy and so I don't know what, and he says to me from the beginning so wonderful things, and I thought it's just not right,
Just an American hype. Yeah.
No, I wanted to say I had really difficulty to accept it. As with the singing after a concert, and I have done 1 or 2 errors or something, or was not perfect, and somebody comes, oh, that was so wonderful. And I said, there was that wrong, and that I learned then not to say it, but I still felt it like this. So this is really, really, really a big issue, I think, to learn to value oneself in the right way and not over ask, how do you say, expectations, not have expectations of something which is just absurd, not measure yourself with others. This is my special type of Enya type, that I always measure myself with who knows what. But this is part of the journey to learn that. What is your normal habitual way of being in the world, and then find out, oh, maybe this is conditioned and it's not really you. And how can I learn to be different? And this is very much what Cecile in the session addressed too, no? She said about growing. One of the main things when you are working in a workplace like this is growing yourself too. And going to be in the community, not community, this is colleagues, but growing in the we field and personally. This is just important. And did she answer when we asked if somebody doesn't want to?
Oh, well, she made it quite clear that one can disclose as much as they want. They don't all have to be perfectly transparent, and they don't have to bring, their personal life into work if they don't choose to.
But we didn't ever ask for the worst case scenario. If there's a conflict between people, they say they have practices of conflict management. But if somebody just is, probably they wouldn't even be in a business like that. If you are alone and always do the devil.
There's probably a desire among people in those kinds of businesses.
Psychopaths and narcissists.
Sort of, yeah. I think probably
psychopaths and narcissists will be easily recognized in these environments, because if the genuine people connect genuinely, they feel there is a difference. They feel the fake of narcissism. People who are trying to pretend. But if you are in an environment where narcissism is the thing, because almost everybody is pretending, it's actually the other way around. It's very hard to find any genuine communication, and everybody's playing a game, which is more what's happening in businesses today, because this is how I experienced it in a big American company. When I worked in Prague it was just the work that I did for a year before I said goodbye to that world, corporate world, and started doing my voice coaching. And it was horrible because there were some genuine people at that office, but they were in minority, and they were scared because the whole place was run by psychopaths and narcissists.
Yep.
Liars. You cannot imagine. I would like to write about it one day, only to help people to recover from environments like that, which are toxic. So what Cecile we're talking about is a healthy environment when natural growth can happen. And exactly what Christina is saying, this self-love, this gentle self-love, allows you to be who you are, and your talents and natural abilities are not going to be discovered. They are not going to be, dug for. They will just emerge. Suddenly they will be there. That's the intelligence that we have inside us. It's just completely natural, and it's been suppressed. It's what you are talking about. And I must, there is another thank you to Heidi and Mark, as I started writing songs. It's pure artistic thing. It's only my heart. It's the little girl in me who wants to express herself. And because I haven't been composing music for decades, and I neglected that area, I cannot compare myself to accomplished musicians, but I clearly can see there is a potential, and Heidi has to listen to the potential. And there is a genuine, I know that there is a genuine artistic expression in me, because I have experienced it in my work as an interpret, when I sang other people's work. And it was appreciated by other people and by myself. I liked it. Of course, I suffered from the same as Heidi, because that classical singing thing is like a sport, you are trained into spot any little mistakes, and it's the perfectionism in one way is needed for achieving the art of bel canto, and another way it can become a hindrance. Is it right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that you couldn't understand about how I responded to you was that when you made a mistake, I felt good. Not because you'd made a mistake, but because, oh, she's not perfect. Oh, she's human. Yes.
This was difficult to take in. It was very difficult to take in, that I was not blamed for making a mistake, but for being appreciated. This was really, a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come back to what we said before, Kate. So what happens if in a surrounding of genuine people is one psychopath, they probably, this is like oil and water, they probably will just leave, because they cannot do their games, their usual games, nobody playing with them. So what do they do there? So you don't even have to kick them out, probably. They will disappear by themselves,
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't have to leave them.
You have to be...
No, okay.
But you have to be strong in yourself to not to fall into their games. It's exactly when we go back to the example of the overhyped marketers. You don't buy into it, and you stand on your own ground. And I can tell you, it's very hard, because we've been conditioned to be drawn into these games. And it is our low self-esteem, lack of self-love that makes us very vulnerable to narcissists and psychopaths. So the antidote is, again, is love, 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 love. And it starts with yourself. Because I don't want to allow any of these people to make me unhappy, to ruin my life, to put me into place when I don't feel even like a human being. And I've been there. So that's it. Yeah, I had the experience and I'm cured. So I think in these environments, when people really can stand on their, they can, stand on their own ground, it's like oil and water. Absolutely right. It is not compatible and they will leave. Remember, these people, narcissists and psychopaths, they go for easy prey. They don't go for people who don't react.
So what we need to learn is really to be ourselves, be strong in ourselves, strong in a different way than we thought what strong is, We thought strong is when we are like this, but strong is more knowing ourselves, knowing our weaknesses, knowing, for instance, the moments when we are seducible by the promises or by the scares. Often these marketers use fear, make you feel, or if you don't buy it now, then something horrible will happen to you. You miss out something. And I know that it's working. It's psychologically working on many of us, and then it needs really the confidence in yourself that you know it, that you can know it by yourself, and you don't need any guy who is pressing you, But, what we also talked in the talk before is these are thousands of years of patriarchy, we name it now patriarchy, where we were used to be pressed into certain schemes. Not only women, also men. It's not a
the
gender
hierarchy
difference.
didn't stop.
Hierarchy was hierarchy, and the males were as in the same. But normally the male had another female to press. The ladder of pressing down the next one, So to get out of that, it will take time, and it takes consciousness, and we are collaborating now, we four here, and Naira and the audience, to change that. And this is really, really, really great. I thank you very much that you participate and that you're not alone in doing this work. This is so, so heartwarming and so encouraging. That was the work that I was saying. Okay, people, I would like you to, if you want to share something still sort of takeaway for today, or an intention which you want to be in public so that you have somebody to hold you accountable, or whatever you want to share for before we leave.
Christina?
Oh, I so totally understand the importance of self-love, and it's such a natural way to be in this self-worthiness and self-love and appreciation of others, and how we grow in kindness. I love kindness. Yes, and it's incredibly nice to be here tonight to listen to you three, and yeah, I'm happy. Thank you.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Okay.
And I have a message
I'm
too.
happy to.
Thank you, Christina, for saying this. I discovered not many days ago that all these principles we were talking about are applicable in any area of your life, whether it's a relationship with your family, whether it's a relationship in your business or an art, and it's truly integrated. So that's my message.
This is great. Yeah. We come together in integral
together.
communion.
Yep, that's right.
That's exactly.
And I'm so appreciating the examples of this that I've heard tonight and that I resonate with. You know, and I know I'm with my people, so to speak. You know, and even though I'm sometimes feel like a bit of a minority as a male, I can certainly appreciate the struggles that women have gone through. And I don't want to downplay it in any sense, but we men have been terribly tromped on. And
by yourself, by your own gender. By people of your own gender,
of
normally.
Course.
Also,
and
women sometimes.
But women can trump on women too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you bet.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with gender.
No.
Power hierarchies are power hierarchies independent of gender. When a woman comes into a power, often she is worse than men. I mean, can be in this negative power. We have to, and this maybe is my message. We need to abandon this power, this what I call negative power over somebody. Make somebody do something against their will. And we need to go into our own power, which is power to. I have the power to do something, not to you, but to create something that we can embrace this power and abandon this dominance power. I think that's the right thing I want to say.
Going from modernism to postmodernism.
This is in integral speech.
In integral speech.
Okay.
Yes. Right.
Great. I'm so glad and so happy, and I can only repeat what you said. It's a feeling to be in the tribe. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you two together. I love to see you together.
So do I.
Oh, yeah.
So do I.
Oh, you're beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Christina, it will be for you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will see the day.
Yes.
We will see the day. Okay. You will be together like that.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
And Kate, it's wonderful to hear about the progress you're making with Bill, you know, and how the two of you are
20 years. It's a hard work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great.
It's beautiful to hear that. Great. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we have some supper now, and bye-bye to you.
We have to feed the dog soon, or we're in trouble. Yeah. Okay.
Bye.